Why are you single? I get it, I'm as introverted and awkward as they come. I can't do small talk. I lose my train of thought when speaking to new people because half of my brain goes into anxiety mode. The whole 9 yards. However, 4 years ago I took a chance after a month of intensive group therapy for anxiety and gave Tinder a shot. I swept right on two girls. One swept right on me, a headstrong, opera singing, former model. We met for a date that day. And we've seen each other every day since and are 3 years married. All of this to say, sometimes social skills don't matter, sometimes taking a risk, putting yourself out there and being genuine can lead to good things. Not always obviously. But I was at the point where I was losing hope in myself and had basically given up on ever being in a relationship. I was 30 and had only had 2 very brief relationships up to that point. But here I am. I hope this comment gives some hope to those of you who are resigned to being forever single. Life is weird. Don't give up on yourselves. Everyone has something that makes them worthy of love. That includes you. Because I have no energy to go back on dating apps, and it's hard to meet people organically at the moment because of the whole pandemic thing. Also, I'm going through a weird period where I'm having to rethink my whole life and what I'm doing with it, and rebuild my self-confidence, and it's not really healthy or fair to start a relationship with someone else feeling like this. I'd rather get my shit together beforehand. I fancy someone who fancies me back, but he's 9 years younger, a touring musician, and 101% not someone I can see myself having a stable long-term thing with. I'm currently struggling with my music career, and life in general, and he's a very successful artist. So a recipe for disaster. I am controlling myself, trying not to go down that spiral. Woman in lotus position, light skin tone, but it isn't easy. Thanks Reddit strangers, it felt good writing all this down. After my last relationship, I decided to take a break from actively dating and enjoy time with friends and family, as most people do. Well, weeks stretched into months, and before I knew it, I was loving the time with myself and spending the time solely on pursuits that made me happy. I lose count, but I am somewhere around 2.5 to 3 years since my last actual, committed, defined relationship, and so far, every date I have gone on just reinforces my current thinking that I am really comfortable with myself and enjoy being fully in control of my time/life. Being fully in control of time/life is a major reason for me. To be completely honest, it irks me when I'm hanging out with someone and they say, "Oh, I'd love to do insert activity, but let me talk to my boyfriend first." Like, I understand it's respectful to keep your partner/spouse informed of your whereabouts and plans, but it really just reminds me of asking your parents for permission. I hate the idea of having to check in with someone constantly like that. I really cherish my spontaneity/ability to make moves without having to run things by someone for approval. Ugly gang. I'm so skinny I suspect I'll be single forever, lol. I've even been directly told by a drunk woman I like that she loves my personality, but I'm just too thin to even consider dating. She said that to me almost word for word. That one still keeps me up sometimes. I have an eating disorder I inherited from my mother, so it's pretty unlikely I'll be able to gain much more weight, let alone maintain it. I've learned being skinny as a male is pretty much a death sentence for dating. I also don't exactly have the prettiest face to make up for it. I have plenty of friends, including many women, and get along with most people well, and I'm very social, which kinda makes it all the more depressing. I know it's my appearance that's destroying my chances, not just a lack of social skills. I could improve my social skills if that was my problem, but well, I guess I'm just fucked. Or not fucked. Fuck. Whatever. On the plus side, I can do whatever I want all the time. On the downside, I spend quite a lot of that time feeling miserable and lonely. Gotta love being screwed from the start by your genetics, smiley face. Bro, when it comes to expressing your feelings, Just do it if you get embarrassed or made fun of. Who gives a damn or two? In 50 years nobody will give half a fuck if you got rejected. It's happened to us all. In 500, 5,000, 5 million years nobody will remember you or how asking out underscore 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 made you embarrassed or got made fun of for it or anything. So go out and fucking do it, because you will regret if you don't, and if you find the one along the way, all the better. They don't know you have feelings, unless you are obvious about it, until you tell them. Hearts will be broken and it will hurt like all hell, but it builds us to be stronger people and find better ones down the road. Tell her, bro. Honestly, I think I just lost hope at this point. I'm rarely attracted to anyone, but 2 last times I actually dated a guy, they all of a sudden ghost me. I don't know if I'm such a shit person or this is how dating is nowadays. Hooking up and anything casual is not for me. I believed in true love, but I guess it's not for me to experience it. I'm okay with being single. I can't imagine to just be with someone just because. Now I do what I want. I'm not ashamed to go alone on a concert, movie, museum, sports event, etc. I have hobbies and I'm never bored with spending time by myself. Same boat. I was with him 27 years, total. He cheated, then threw me away like I was garbage. I tried so hard to make things better, but they were not salvageable. I wasted 3 years turning myself inside out and upside down for a person who just wasn't fazed by any of it. In that 3 years I was you, right now. Married, living in the same house, but feeling like I was sitting on a smoking rubble pile. That was my old life, and one I had loved. It took a long time for me to stand up and walk away from that mess. Healing hasn't been overnight and hasn't come easily. But it has come. I decided I was going to be happy. Not married, not single, just happy. And I went after whatever made me happy. I'm dating again, but only to the extent that it makes me happy. I'm not necessarily looking for a partner. I don't know what I believe about finding love again, but I did find happiness by focusing on me and not my tragedy. If I find love again, it won't be at the expense of my personal happiness, because that's just too precious a jewel to give away. I am not in a place mentally to have that sort of relationship right now. Not to mention that I am perfectly happy with the direction I'm trending, and I am kind of nervous that if I was to jump into a relationship, I will be forced to give up my baseball, CDs, and figurine collections, much less other things I enjoy. Maybe it's just me being paranoid, but I don't think it's my time yet. Edit. I know it might seem weird, but thank you so much for all the support and the award. It's refreshing to see so many supportive people who either understand where I am coming from, or are trying to understand where I am coming from. You have really made my day. Ultimately, I'm at a point in my life where I'm content being alone. I want to live my most meaningful and fulfilling days however I see fit, as I have enough self-awareness to acknowledge that I'm simply not interested in being in a meaningful romantic relationship. For a decade, I had to slowly learn to value my freedom, making decisions for myself, and become accountable for my own actions and committed life goals. Besides, too often I've seen people who go into a committed relationship on the grounds that their partner completes them. You need to be a whole, happy person on your own terms before sharing your life with someone else. 28-year-old male who just found out last year to be on the autistic spectrum, replying, I don't think I'm a viable option to be participating or even making myself available to romantic relationships. Gaining/adapting to new life experiences is difficult sometimes, and I rather do it at my own pace rather than to fail live up to somebody's expectations. My self-esteem isn't always so great, so gaining a romantic interest only to be given up on would only kick it down. That's why I rather go for friendships if I like an individual, as I don't feel the burden to live up to expectations to be weighing as much. But it has to be met with reciprocity. I'm done with one-sided communications. I'm not very attractive or sociable, also low self-esteem. I grew up overweight, bullied, and depressed, so how I look now doesn't matter. I've lost a lot of weight since graduation, met some nice people online, and was sucked into my hobbies to the point of dependency. I had a date that was going very well, and then she left after seeing my house. When she saw I had a spare room full of Lego boxes, Pokemon games, and Japanese toys from a show I watch, she left. She wanted a man, not a boy. I cried for so long after that incident. I never dated after that night. Since then, I've cut off almost all social interaction besides childhood friends, family, and co-workers, in that order. I was deeply, head over heels, absolute soulmate in love with my ex. He would purposefully ruin things as soon as we were comfortable and happy, pull away, come back. I have cried every day about it for 4 months. I broke up with him. He refused to even want to be happy, he just couldn't do it. There was never any cheating, but it was so much heartbreak and drama to constantly start to be comfortable only for him to go out of his way to ruin that. He wasn't ready, he couldn't deal with it. I couldn't handle it, so I walked away. It hurts more than anything else I've been through, and my heart still has some sort of calm permanence to it when I think about him. But we drive past each other daily and we haven't spoken in 4 months. I moved states and gave up my entire life and everything I had ever known to support him when his dads were dying, 4 months apart this year, but it never got better. He didn't want to be happy, he didn't want a healthy relationship, he wanted things the way they have always been for him. I did everything I could to work with him, but I was cheating myself and so tired of doing everything and being everything and always being the good one, I finally had enough and walked away. Only time in my life I have ever felt this way. It took me 2 entire years to move past being just his friend because I was so scared at how deeply I felt for this person after being in a seriously loveless abusive marriage for 3 years between meeting him and marriage ending. He was also in an abusive marriage most of his life. We came out of our traumas completely differently. I tried so hard, I cry every single day, but I've stood my ground and maintained zero contact even though it is so painful, and some days I'd give up everything just to wake up with him again. I just can't put up with so much drama and unhappiness completely made up by someone who has no idea how to be happy and will forever sabotage it. I hate it so much. I got complacent in my last relationship with a girl I was really in love with. Like, honestly, she was the most perfect girl I've ever met. At the time I was undiagnosed bipolar, really high highs and really low lows. Whenever I'd get depressed I'd binge drink to try to force myself into a manic state. All of this was exhausting for my girlfriend. She kept insisting I get help, but when I was really depressed I would just feel like I was being attacked, and when I was really manic I found it impossible to believe I could be wrong, like my ego was simply untouchable. We argued a lot. When I would be neutral I would commit to going to a therapist, but I was scared they would actually find something wrong with me or make me stop drinking, my strongest coping mechanism and addiction, so I never went. Ultimately what ended up happening is that she kept putting distance between us, and since I wasn't capable of blaming myself, or refused to, I assumed she was cheating on me. To top it all off, my toxic sister and mom really wanted me to marry inside of our family's culture, which my girlfriend was of a different culture. That said, I wanted to be with her for the rest of my life. Every girl I date and see and sleep with and whatnot, I just end up comparing them to this person I loved so deeply, or perhaps even a more optimistic picture I keep of her in my head. I have an unattainable standard and an inability to fall in love with anyone new. I'm single because I'm a stubborn C who loves someone I completely fucked it up with and will never have a chance with again, and anytime a girl gets close to me I let it fling for a while but inevitably kill it because it just doesn't compare to something I've already had. She is 1 in a trillion and I haven't really met a girl who comes close as of yet, in terms of matching my personality, interests, attachment style, sex drive, and habits. It's been 2+ years, and while I've moved on to the point of dating and behaving like a normal happy person, I just would rather be single and a fuckboy than not be with her. As you know, I have never been married. It wasn't my choice. There were many reasons for that, but I think that the main reason was that I was not confident in myself. It took me 25 years to realize that confidence is something that can be developed. If you don't feel good about yourself, it's hard to build confidence in your self-worth and to expect others to believe in you. When I was young, I was told to make myself more beautiful. I was encouraged to get a higher paying job so that I could have a better life. I never thought of myself as ugly or unattractive, so my self-confidence was really low. I took a job that I hated and just stayed in the same job for 25 years, because I didn't think I could do anything else. I just am. I'm 30F, I don't mind it, I don't try to change it. I am social, love talking to strangers, don't mind flirting and casual hookups. I just love my me time. I have too many hobbies. Too many plants. Hopefully one day too many cats. Currently only one cat and a bunch of isopods. I do think I am stuck in a convenience relationship right now. A good friend of mine and I decided to be each other's sex buddy for COVID. I love spending time with him, our love languages mesh so we just cuddle all the time, but it's not emotional. I feel guilty I don't want to date him, there's just something missing deep down. I can't even verbalize it really. I want a partner, but in all honesty I don't think about it very often. I'm not sad I've been single for years, I am happier alone than in a deadened relationship. I've never dated bad guys, just the wrong guys. I download Tinder occasionally, but can't keep up with messages, so just let it go. I feel like I'm burning bridges if I try before I'm ready. I'm relatively disillusioned with the future at this point in our present world, don't necessarily feel depressed, I don't want to end anything. But I just have a hard time seeing the point of everything. I've already decided to never have kids. I would consider dating somebody with kids. I love to teach and show people new things, so I think I could be a good stepmom to older kids. I think my parents are sad for me. I wish they wouldn't be. I think, after a few years of inner work and healing from quite a relationship shitshow, I may be ready. But I really hate the whole dating dance, particularly online dating. Do this and you seem too eager, do that and you're a cold-hearted bitch, hide this much of who you are but flash people this other part with abandon, maybe jiggle it a little. I don't get it, so few PPL actually communicate effectively and instead rely on all these chicken shit games and posturing. I've got too much to do to try so damn hard. So I'm just gonna live my best life to the fullest, and if someone worthwhile and I cross paths, we'll talk and maybe we'll be the real deal. If not, I'll be okay too. Life is too short to be with the wrong person just to not be alone, which honestly isn't bad. I'm a hoot. Also, guys my age either have kids, want kids, or don't want them because they hate kids passionately, and I don't want kids but hating them is a red flag to me. So that doesn't help. Bring on the cats, BB. At this point in time, irregardless of if there is anyone currently attracted to me, I choose to stay single. I don't wanna chase men/women or chase sex cause it's literally a black hole of misery almost 90% of the time. Watching people or even my exes hop from one relationship to the next made me realize just how fucked up the modern dating scene is and how it's anything but natural. Dating apps, fake empowerment for men and women to seek sex but not commitment, various other reasons have all ruined relationships actually stood for, and that's why I almost never see anyone in a long-lasting relationship. At this point in my life and probably for a very very long time, I'm just gonna focus on myself and build my own empire. I don't need someone else in my life to make that happen, and despite what I see a lot of people say, you don't need sex or relationships to survive. If you're horny, masturbate and get back on your grind. Stop throwing yourselves at other people's mercy for a quick fix on dick/pussy.